Today on Press Start, we're embarking on a massive quest, Dungeons & Dragons, with our friends from Wizards of the Coast and Geek, Chic.
Press Start. Today we are playing D&D, and around the table you might notice some fresh new faces. We've got Robert from Geek, Chic, who's joining us, and we also have Chris right here, who is our DM, and Chris is from Wizards of the Coast, and it's going to be awesome. And we've got Greg, who is also joining us, playing with us. So this is going to be really, really cool. Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going to happen here today?
Sure. I'm going to sort of throw you into an adventure. And this is an adventure that I wrote up for the winners of the Child's Play charity auction. And they've already sort of taken a first crack at it, and they all died.
But
no.
you've already won, though, right?
They did it just fine.
Everybody wins in that situation.
Fine. Yes. And so you're going to be going on this little adventure, and we'll see how you guys fare.
Well, if everybody died the last time, I don't think that sounds like a little adventure.
So I want to actually go ahead and say that we already have our characters here, because I want to point out that I have a Belgos, who is a Drow Ranger, if I'm saying that correctly.
Ooh.
And we got a Dwarf Fighter.
Right.
Right.
Tiny ball of armor.
And Robert, you've got a Eladrin War Priest, and we have got a
Elven Rogue.
And I'm actually playing a character from this new book. It's called Heroes of Shadows. So this character is a drow and an assassin.
Oh, she even told you.
I don't trust her.
She's got a book instead of just a piece of paper.
Well, I do have the character
Proper
sheets
character
that I printed
sheet.
out. It's got all my cards on it. It's
Features
actually
pack.
a pretty cool character builder on the D&D website for Wizards of the Coast. So it's
Guess
really
which one of us
awesome.
plays
very cool.
regularly?
Heroes of
I
Shadow.
also have my own dice.
I got
very
beer.
good. Very good.
My name is on my cup, too.
Heroes of Shadow just came out.
Well, I have
It's,
a car. So there.
We've got
Kind of
this,
have a car.
This
Not
product
mine.
here is tied to our encounter season, which
Oh, cool.
is, if you know about D&D Encounters, it's a thing we play in our stores.
Every Wednesday, right?
That's right. And you can choose to play characters from this book for that.
Awesome.
So since we all have our cards, we get to skip past all the rolling for special abilities, or do we have to do something else?
Actually, your characters are already set.
All right.
Ready.
Those of you who have the cards, these are the pre-gens that you can play at the D&D Encounters program.
Okay.
And
It says encounters on the card.
Yep.
Bling.
It's really fun,
I have to
actually.
say they're
It's
not
really
as cool as a character you build using the character
Yeah.
builder. But, you know, for purposes of this, they'll be just fine.
Man, it's fancy.
Yeah.
It's
really
pretty cool.
fancy. It's all right.
All right.
Really
What do we need to
fancy.
do?
Fancy.
I want to
Do
roll
the
characters
Yes,
just
where
to
we
roll
start.
characters.
So I'm going to assume that you guys know each other. I mean, not you.
Aye.
Your characters know each other.
Okay.
All right,
Just to
fair
keep
enough.
things
Fair
Vaguely.
enough.
But you are first level characters, so you're relatively inexperienced. Very much like a Lord of the Rings type movie, you are a fellowship, a gathering of folks who are off doing heroic things, and you have found yourself in a small, kind of pastoral, idyllic dale that is run by a lord who's known as, his name is Lord Errol Zykus.
Zykus.
Big Z. Big
He
Z.
lives on a vineyard. He is known to be somewhat eccentric, and he has summoned you to his vineyard because he has a problem that he needs solved immediately.
All right.
And he's heard you've got a decent reputation.
Got the
for
chops.
getting- For getting
Great.
things done.
We can make it happen.
What's up, Z? Heard
For
that,
a level 1, right? We're good.
Cannon
fodder, let's go.
Original.
He's a dwarf.
I'm going to flick your dwarf.
You don't you dare.
That sounds terrible.
My ball of armor.
When you show up at the vineyard, you see it is well tended. There are all these workers in the rows upon rows of grapes, and they're all wearing big straw hats. And you see that they are halflings, dwarves, half-elves. There is a manse, a stone building sort of overgrown with ivy that sits in the middle of the vineyard. And when you ask somebody where Lord Errol Zykus is, they tell you, of course, he is in his lair.
Excellent.
All right.
Nice.
All right. You are led into the house, into a darkened parlor which has the heads of animals mounted on the walls. But they don't look to be in great shape, like they were hunted and killed maybe like 50 years ago. And Lord Zychus is not even that old, so they seem to be trophies from a bygone era. Yes. And when Lord Zychus enters, actually you hear him before he arrives because you hear this sort of clomp, 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 clomp. And then when the door opens, you see a man about 5'8", 350 pounds, wearing wooden shoes and a dress.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Is it a
Are we-
nice dress?
Are we
or
talking about like a Mimi dress from Drew Carey show, or are we talking about like just a robe that a lord would wear?
It looks like a robe.
A muumuu that fits him?
with sort of lace trim. And,
So it looks expensive.
On the arms
So it's a proper
and
dress.
on the,
Yeah.
on the neck. And you can see it's sort of a garish purple color. And the lace is all sort of a golden or a bronze color.
But he looks like the kind of cross-dresser that can pay, is what we're talking about,
Yeah.
right? Is that what we were saying?
That's a good question.
Yes.
I was looking,
Okay, well that's in
I was
fact
looking for
qualified.
appraisal on
Your
here, in fact.
adventurer ears hear this
Qualified.
sort of jingle, jingle,
Yeah.
jingle, like he's actually carrying money on him.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Seems to
So are we
recall-
calling him Lord or Mistress?
You've been told that
Duchess.
Lord would be the proper term.
Sticking with Lord.
Your
Excellent.
grace would also suffice.
Your Grace.
And
bet
he
that
stands
he
there in his
liked
wooden
that.
shoes, and he's got a scarf which he throws over his neck, and he says, "I'm so glad you could make it."
Nathan Lane.
Indeed. Yes, thank you.
Nathan Lane.
Well,
I'm
thank
glad
you
that
for
we're here.
inviting us. Lord,
He says,
Your
"I am
Grace.
Lord Errol Zychus. I'm sure you've heard of me. I have plenty of money to offer you for the problem that needs to be solved."
And what's that problem?
Wait. How much money? We talked about this.
It depends on how big the problem is.
Sorry.
How
How much money?
He says, "We will talk about the money momentarily. First of all, you need to know that the problem lies in the village of Vergensly, for which I am responsible. About 50 sods live there."
That's a lot of sods, I suppose.
He says, "It's in the middle of an orchard."
He said lived.
He says, "I assume they're still there. I've never been there myself, of course. The Lord there has written me on a number of occasions saying there's a dragon that's moved into the ruin on the hill nearby.
Great.
He says, we must deal with this nuisance.
The sides of the
Be rid
dragon?
of
The,
it."
The dragon.
The dragon.
Right.
Right. I approach the Lord and I.
He sort of takes a couple steps back from you.
Okay.
So I approach the Lord and I say, so what you really want us to do is to find out what's going on with the dragon, right?
He says, "Yes,
Okay, so
in essence."
that's the problem. What's the solution in terms of how much you're willing to pay to get rid of this dragon?
He says, 500 gold.
I turn to my comrades
each,
and I say,
or-
it's 500 gold. Is that a lot of money?
No,
No, it's not a lot.
Is that pretty good for a dragon?
Just
Very-
not
very-
we could go very much money. I don't
500
think so.
each
Can
for
we fill up
one
a chest?
little dragon.
Where did you get the lace?
500 each.
Don't. Just wait.
He says, "It belonged to my mother."
You got more heirlooms like that around.
He says, "You would be surprised.
I like surprises.
This is going to get weird.
Work this.
This
When
is
you
going
get
to
to
get really weird.
Vergensly, you will meet a tiefling there. They're horned fiends. He runs the village. His name is Kamian Hakari. He will give you the details. I just want this problem to be gone."
So do we get half of the money now?
He says,
We will need sundries for the journey.
Right.
"We will provide you with every mundane gear you need."
So by mundane gear, you mean half the money then, right?
Says, "You're a pushy little creature."
I am a pushy little creature.
And I
Yes.
approach the Lord and I
I was
say,
prepared for that.
my grace, my friend here is merely concerned that we do not have to burden your friends and your workers for supplies should we need them on the way. If we had half of the payment now, we would assuredly be able to take care of whatever may come across our path without having to bother you or your friends or your workers again.
Yes, I do not wish to be bothered. Yes, talk to my major domo on the way out. I will see that he gives you half your money.
Thank you.
Right, it was good.
Good.
I
I
agree.
trust you will handle this matter expeditiously.
Yes, we'll do that thing that you just said. Quickly.
He says, "I am tired of these letters."
Right.
The letters from the Lord?
Is there any letter we can see?
Yeah, we take a look at the letters.
He will go over to this small little table, and he sort of jiggers, tries to get it open, and it gets stuck, and he can't.
So we got someone for that, actually. They can absolutely open
Can
that.
I fist check the side of the thing to see if the door
Absolutely.
comes open?
Just pops open. He just
Roll for
looks at you.
funds.
And then he pulls out some sheets of
wearing
paper,
leather.
just hands you the sheets, and a couple of them fall. And there's like 6 of them.
Okay.
Is there anything else in that drawer that I can spot just from a quick glance?
So he
Make
did.
a perception check.
Yeah.
So noticeable.
Your skills
On the
are
table.
listed.
Let's see.
On
Perception.
the-
Let's see.
on
Wisdom.
this side.
Perception
plus
is in wisdom.
8, yeah.
Yeah. So you roll a d20 and add 8.
19.
19.
You can see that there's some sort of what looks like a royal stamp in there, or a signet stamp, or a lord stamp.
Is there a way that I could take that without
Thievery?
too many people
a
noticing?
thievery check?
Thievery check.
Yes.
Let's see. Plus 9. Dexterity 18. What?
12.
He hip checks it, and your hand sort of gets lodged in there, and it just takes all your willpower not to emote. So after he walks away, and
I can fix this drawer for you if you'd like.
he says, "That is a family heirloom. Leave it as it is." When you look at the letters, you see that they're all written in sort of a scratchy, the scratchy hand of a kind of poorly educated person.
Half demon.
And apart from the spelling mistakes and things like that, you see that there is an air of desperation to all of the letters, and they're dated each about a month apart. So
Progressively getting worse, more harried, more.
about the same level of harried, but the words that are sort of injected in there become a little bit more, shall we say, slanderous.
How long has it been going on?
Well, there's
Looking
6.
at the letters, about 6 months.
Yeah, 6 letters.
What an attentive landlord.
And they all mention a dragon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all dealing with the same thing. There's a ruin overlooking the village. A dragon has moved in. When you're reading the letters, you get the sense that the dragon has not threatened the village in any way, but the villagers feel threatened by its presence.
Right, because it's
It's a dragon.
a dragon. They assume the worst.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Okay.
Let's make this problem go away.
We will do this for you.
Of course. That's what we do.
We can take care of it.
Day in, day out, we get it done.
Where's the domo?
There's a lot of ways to make things go
Where?
away.
You would have run into him coming into the house. He probably would have let
Okay.
you in.
Okay.
And since you seem to be hell bent on getting your money,
Right.
you will summon the major domo to the room. Yes.
We take it, we leave. Adventure over.
This
All right.
All right, we gotta have our money. Let's go.
Half is better than.
He's very slow. We can just run. Let's go.
Lord Zychus' major domo is a dwarf. He's about twice as old as you are.
Yeah.
And long gray beard that sort of drops down to his ankles, braided. So you can sort of whip it about and actually probably knock you out with it if you wanted to. But yeah, he's more than happy to hook you up with your money, and he understands perfectly in dealing with Lord Zychus. You get the impression better to get as much money now as you can.
Right.
So
There
if
you go.
I see the domo and he's handing us the money, can I ask if there are any other letters or any other communications that the Lord may not have remembered or he might have forgotten about that the town may have sent to give him more information about what's been happening in the past 6 months?
He says, "Oh no,
Nothing.
nothing."
So can you tell us a little bit more about the Lord of this town at all? Any information about the Lord? Is he a
You're
friendly
talking to
guy?
the major domo or
They
the?
don't.
Major domo.
Okay.
Because the
He
Lord,
says-
the Prince Grace is gone.
Oh, he's
Oh.
he's
Difficult to describe.
tiefling adventurer, like I think
Man,
Old
a few
adventurer
words.
or
Okay.
still relatively young?
retired. I
That means that he at least kind of knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
think lost him.
Know about that.
An arm.
Last name.
Kind of.
All right,
Alright.
so don't wave.
He's got a peg arm.
Troll, I think.
Okay, noted.
That'd make sense.
Troll, tiefling.
No, Troll
No.
took the arm.
Took the arm.
Oh, troll.
Like,
tiefling.
I'll do that.
Nom, nom, nom.
Right.
Well, thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Of course.
I can't imagine tiefling being very good. Anyways.
All right.
Anyhow.
So I think we're done.
Yeah,
Desperate
let's,
times.
There,
let's
right?
go. Let's knock
We
this
hit the
out.
road?
Let's,
Are
let's
there
hit
any
some. Let's
good-
hit the road.
Entryways to the building on the main level as I'm inside?
Yes.
Yes.
There are like 3 different entryways.
Does it seem like there's heavy security in this place?
No, other than the old doddering dwarf major domo, you haven't seen any security whatsoever.
Interesting.
Um,
File
Noted.
that one.
Yeah.
the Lord says, "Allow me to show you out."
Oh, absolutely.
And
thank
as he
you.
walks out toward the front door, he sort of grabs this parasol. And so when he leaves her outside in the sunshine, he pops it. Of
course.
So the sunbeams
Covers
cannot
himself, yes.
weigh heavily upon his brow.
It's
He's
a warm day.
fabulous. He is fabulous.
Yeah.
He's my new
And
hero.
it's a beautiful golden parasol.
Fab.
It's my new hero.
So I compliment on this majestic parasol and this lovely attire as we head out onto the road.
That's just
Okay.
all I
And
want.
thank you.
I
He
just
seems very,
I
very
want
pleased with
that.
that.
I want that
Very,
for
very
myself.
pleased.
Parasol.
I just want that. A couple years adventuring, and I think I could have it. That's my exit strategy.
Why wait a couple
That's not going to
years?
help
Right
if we
there.
get any raiders, man. You got a parasol.
Why wait
I'm
a
just
couple
saying.
years when you could have it now? That's what I'm
Listen, all right, calm down.
So we've been let out. We're on the road.
Yeah.
Let's go.
There's a muddy road that leads from the vineyard about a half day's journey to the small orchard village of Vergensly. When you finally get there, your boots sort of sticky with mud, you see that the orchard itself is beautifully tended. There are people, it's probably late evening by now. There are people sort of hurrying with their baskets back toward town, baskets of apples. You can see the town itself is sort of a wretched conglomeration of small little cottages with moss-covered roofs. And then, sort of very proudly, atop a hill on the far side of town, you see a battered ruin, quite large and quite desolate.
Much livestock in this town?
When you look around, you see there's maybe a farmstead that has 4
Okay.
kind of wretched
So really not
cows.
very much. That'd mean that, of course, the dragon's not going to be coming looking for meat at that point in time.
Well, there's 50 or so.
So,
odds that would be-
yeah.
There's
but
probably
let's face
a
it,
total
mutton's
of
way better.
maybe 8 farms outlying the
Okay.
village proper.
Predominantly
So
vegetable.
we've arrived in town. We know where we need to go to get to the dragon. But
Yeah.
if I'm watching,
Any evidence of
I
the
want to watch and see where all the workers are going that are done with the day since it's evening.
Okay.
So we can.
Yeah. You see that they seem to be going to a central building
Okay.
that may be a
Town hall.
local town hall / tavern. You can see also, it strikes you that they seem to be walking around in groups of 3 or 4.
Okay.
You don't
Keeps
see
the
any-
rapists away.
Yeah.
So guys, I think we need to go see what's up at the town hall.
Sure, and
Because
there's
they're obviously grouping together.
any evidence that of the dragon from this far away.
You've seen nothing
Yeah, great.
to suggest there's a dragon threat.
Right.
No giant burning
Town
pyres
hall?
of anything.
Town hall it is.
Town hall.
Suppose.
All right.
All right.
Splash that about, get some beer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's go.
That was actually what I was thinking.
When you get to the hall and you sort of open up, it's kind of dark in there. There are lanterns to light the corners, and there are a lot of people just sort of sitting around, kind of sullenly enjoying. The place kind of reeks of some sort of cider wine.
I like cider.
Like it seems to have
I'm watching my
infused.
figure.
It seems to have infused the very wood of the structure, and you see this cheery, plump halfling girl just sort of waddle up to you in the doorway. And she's just kind of got a blanket over her shoulders and a small tray in her arms. And there's nothing on it right now. She seems to have handed out some drinks. And she says, "Just wandering through."
Thank you. We'd actually like to have a table if you don't mind, so we can.
We
get
were
some
looking to-
brews.
She
Speak
sort of
with
turns
someone,
around and
right?
looks around her little establishment, and all the tables have people, and she sort of shoos some of them off into corners.
That's right.
And,
That's
how
how
we
we,
start
that's how
treating
we, exactly.
They seem to clear an area for you and your money.
That's right. Exactly.
The money we already
In the
got.
heart of
yeah.
this place. And you see the villagers
Well
all
played.
kind of nodding and smiling and whispering about you and saying, "They must have finally come."
So if I'm looking
Okay.
around the bar and the hostel or the restaurant, I think I want to see if I
Does
see
anybody have
somebody
horns?
who's kind of running his mouth, kind of talking a lot.
Okay.
Somebody,
Yeah.
if I send a beer over to him, get him to come over and talk, he might be more open to that.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it
Yeah,
might
you
be
see-
better
you
if I
see a
do
guy-
that.
You see a guy in a corner. He is a human.
Rogue female.
Very sort of slight,
Fine.
in his 20s,
Oh, yeah.
with a sort of red trimmed beard,
I got
red
this.
curly scraggly hair, and he's a little bit drunk on the wine cider, and he's saying, "I told you, we don't need help with no dragon. The dragon's tame or something wrong with him. In fact, I'll go kill him myself. Fuck him."
So I back away and I don't say anything. I let my night elf come up and do her magic because
Yeah.
she's like, what? Dragon? You've seen a dragon before?
A dragon? Wow.
A black
Plop
dragon.
down put
You ever
myself
seen a
get
black dragon,
tankard
Billy?
each. A black dragon, and it's
Shut
Kira. You ever been to a Turkish prison?
Don't. You just,
Plop down whatever it takes to get some of the swill, and one for each, and ask him more about this dragon.
Swill, the halfling says as she plants it in front of you.
I'm from a big city.
He says, it's bigger than a horse.
Okay.
That's big.
Dumber
Like, are we
than a
talking-
mule.
Small horse or big horse?
It's a big
Bigger than a horse.
it's a
Draw
horse.
a Clydesdale or a
It's
small
it's like,
horse?
we're not doing math here. Just let me tell the story.
Is it Clydesdale? Is it Arabian Stallion? I mean, I just want to get a frame of
There's a
reference.
differentiation.
What are we talking about?
How much would you say the horse is going to weigh?
Roughly, are we talking in the tonnage zone or below?
I signaled to my
Are you
friend,
familiar with
shut
hands?
up.
I mean, we're talking
Let him talk.
14
Now, is
hands,
this with
16
tack
hands?
on, or are we just saying just the horse?
Just-
So that does the horse breathe
The
fire?
halfling comes over again and says, have you already spoken to Hakari?
No, that's what we
if
should
you
have
could
done
send-
at the
if you could
beginning, I
Send him
think.
over, that'd be great.
Hakari, says the human. No, what does Hakari know? One-armed fool.
What does he know?
We'd like to
He's
find
no good
out.
for nothing anymore.
Okay.
What did he use to
Well,
do?
he could kill a tame dragon, probably, right?
He said, oh, he's
It's
the
a
king
horse.
of Dragonfly.
Kill
Oh,
a
he's
tame
so
horse.
almighty. Oh.
Have you seen this? You've seen this dragon then? It's black.
It's black. It's
a
bigger than a
black
horse.
dragon?
It's bigger than the
It's
horse.
bigger than
Yeah,
a horse.
and
bigger.
So
one
very
of the
small.
other villagers, a woman will say, oh yeah, it's big as a horse, at least as big as a horse.
So I asked
with a
why no
wingspan
one-
about 20 feet.
20 feet.
Why has no one
Well,
done anything about the dragon? Is the dragon just friendly to give rides to the children? Or?
A bunch of folks start to get chatty now, and they immediately start telling you about all the things that have happened in the 6 months since the dragon came. First, people saw it fly over the town, and they thought, oh, they were all dead. Oh no, but it didn't attack them. And then it set down. They watched it as it set down in the keep, and over the course of several days, it would sort of come and go from the keep. Never really ever again flying over the town. Never in any way coming close to the town or making anybody feel, threatened. And people watched it come and go and come and go, and it was clearly a black dragon, and they were always told black dragons are evil, and they're duplicitous and snaky reptilian hunters who will eat their children. All the children
Communists.
in town, some 15 or so, were told by their parents not to go anywhere near the keep. A couple of the kids did and claimed to have seen the dragon inside the old ruins, but it scared them off. For a time, it seemed like that people in the town thought that the dragon was just trying to build a lair. And so letters were written. Hakari kept writing to the Lord to send somebody to get rid of the dragon because he didn't feel like he could do it on his own, and nobody else in the village had any adventuring experience whatsoever. But no answers were coming, and so people thought that the local lord was an idiot who just wanted their money.
Yeah,
And-
which he is.
entirely
I-
likely, yeah.
And then the robberies started happening.
The robberies.
Robberies.
Yes.
Interesting.
So 3 weeks ago, they tell you various farmers, one over here and a couple others tell you about a farmer, saw little creatures skulking around at night, stealing things from their barns. Ropes, wood, like 2x4s. Some farmer lost like a harness that he uses to hoist things up to his loft. All these things have been ripped off, as well as grain supplies, food supplies, apples, things like that. A few people have noticed apple cores
Kobolds,
lying
goblins?
around on the hillside, things like that.
Is it regular? Has been happening every night, some nights a week,
Yeah, in the past like 2 weeks, it's been very frequent.
Okay.
Right,
And they've
but,
only been
Before
taking
that, there was
supplies.
but
Yeah.
but we don't know that they're tied to the dragon.
Maybe not. You never know.
Says one villager. No, little Joey Mantle saw 2 of the critters at night outside of his bedroom window, and they ran off up the hillside.
Critters?
Whatever they are.
But
Are they able
short,
to describe
tall?
them?
Just because you're running up a hillside doesn't mean you're in league with a dragon.
Well, but if you know the
He
dragon's
said they were
there,
as
you
big as a
don't
half.
run to a dragon.
Shorter than my
Yeah.
friend here?
Yes.
Right, you really are tiny.
They're about half as
I'm,
wide.
I'm really short. I'm a little
Can you
ball
did they get
farm.
any look at quality of skin, anything like that? Any
It
Skin
was
color,
not.
pigmentation.
It's night.
It was night.
So,
And they're smaller than the
You have
Good night.
halflings, you have half elves in here.
yeah,
Well, they
Dark
could also
vision?
be just mischievous children. We don't know that yet.
Well, you know, let's start with the children. I'm really more comfortable
Oh, hey,
smacking
hey.
children's hands than I am fighting a dragon.
So-
Let's see if we can get the.
Well,
let's find out what's
Hold
going
on
on.
for a second. Is it possible to go and talk with the group without the people just for a moment before we?
Is there a corner of the bar?
I
we
wanna
can
just
stand
talk
in
with
and
the
have a
crew just
conversation?
for-
Yeah,
Somewhere
just kinda lean in.
here that you can talk without 6 people
Just getting all up in our
looking
face.
at you like this.
You know
I
sign
suspect
language.
if we threw down a coin or two, that they would clear
You-
this place for us.
exactly.
Is there a back
Yes.
room? Is there a back room we could buy for a moment, or for dinner?
Yes, through that door.
So we,
Okay.
we go into the back door, very.
When you open up the back
smoothly.
door, you see it's actually
Outside.
The backyard.
So we're outside. We can talk now, right? What do you want to say?
I want to make just kind of a perception check to see
Yes.
if there's anybody listening in.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
listen to the. Make sure that the.
Yeah. 19
Good.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
plus 8.
That's a great roll.
That's an awesome roll. You see, hiding behind a bar, listening to every word, is a small tiefling girl.
Tiefling girl.
She's about 7 years old. Very sort of sneaky. And
Mm-hmm.
you see that she's actually got, she's actually scribbling down notes, taking notes. And she's in the midst of sort of taking notes when you see her, so she does not see you see her.
Is there a way that I can put my hands on her shoulders and say, "What are you doing, dearie?"
Yes,
Actually,
you absolutely can. When you do, you startle her so furiously, she just sort of drops her little pencil and her little bit of chalk and her little piece of note paper, and she tries to bolt.
I have my
Yeah,
have.
okay.
What kind of a check do I need to make?
You
to
don't need
make
to make a
sure
check.
she doesn't-
She's
as
not-
get the 7-year-old.
Oh, 14 strength. I mean,
She's got-
So
So
someone
he
picks
grabs
up.
the young lady.
You
Would I
should-
be able to use dexterity if I wanted to surreptitiously switch her notebook out with a blank one and pocket hers so that I can read her notes?
Yeah, she'd taken basically a sheaf of paper from behind the bar, so you could take another sheet and essentially.
Just swap them while she's focused on him.
Absolutely, yeah. This girl is totally focused on you. Wide eyes, little tiny horns sprouting from her head, long black hair, reddish skin, and she just sort of says, "Let go of me."
what
At
brings you
once.
out here this evening,
Says, "I'm the daughter of Lord Hjertager. Let go of me at once."
Lord Hjertager? You say, and what were you doing?
Behind the bar.
Taking notes, I think.
She said, "Nothing. I could do whatever I want, you know." This
Whatever
is my
you
village.
want. This is your village.
It's your
We're
dad's.
obviously in the presence of royalty, everyone.
Apparently.
Yes.
Oh, this is not going to turn out. Okay, no, we're
says-
good. Keep going.
Perhaps you'd like to talk to my father.
I
Yes.
would actually. Where
Perhaps
is
I'd
he?
like to talk to you.
Where would he be?
And she grabs the piece of paper off the floor without even looking at it and stuffs it in her breeches.
Which would be the blank paper.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Where would he be?
I can take you there.
All right.
In a minute.
I am Lady Euphoria.
Hello, Lady Euphoria.
Very well. How about you give us directions and we'll follow you shortly?
Make a diplomacy check.
Do I have diplomacy? No, I
You
don't.
don't have
Um,
diplomacy.
Don't.
Why don't
You don't
instead
sound
of
like you've had
that?
much-
I have
Oh,
nothing.
plus
You
zero.
don't sound like you've had diplomacy,
Instead
Mr.
of,
Where's half the money?
instead of
Where's half the
that,
money?
I'd rather I'll just stay back and I will hold on to the child, and you guys can talk and then
Right.
Okay.
fill me
Would you
in
like to
later.
engage the? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm
Fair
gonna
enough.
take ownership of the child, and
Listen, you little
Legal
squirt.
guardian of the
You
state.
say anything, I'm gonna slit your throat.
pretty much I got me some poison.
Yes, she does look rather intimidated by you.
Okay. So I'm just gonna take her. We'll go for a
Sure.
little walk and stand over here.
All right.
The child
where-
Right,
where
so-
she
Growl
can't
assassin.
hear.
What I say?
We're going on a walk. This doesn't end well.
It's not my kid. I don't
Yeah,
care.
I'm just gonna go back inside and stand at the door,
Okay.
waiting for you guys to get done talking. Okay.
The entire room is completely silent.
Okay.
Like they're just watching you,
That's fine.
just transfixed.
That's not
That's
creepy
fine.
at all.
Okay. And the little girl is, she just starts tapping her foot on the.
Like she's impatient.
Yes.
Like
Okay.
seriously, do you guys know who I am? This is my town.
My town.
And
Say
you
we
guys-
can
you guys
kidnap
go
her,
and
but
have your
let's
private
face it.
All right,
conversation.
so-
Is there
Yes,
anything else
all
you
right.
wanted to do while you were essentially alone with the petrified villagers?
I'm gonna take out my dagger and just and,
Just
pointing it at
and
people.
just look at it and,
Pick
and
your
start
fingernails.
cleaning it. Yeah,
You see
Relaxing.
the little girl seems
Nobody move,
entranced
see?
by the dagger.
perfect. Great.
So if we're off
All right.
What did it say?
away from all of this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, let's do it.
I gotta pull out the sheet of paper and see what it says.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. She basically has descriptions of each of you, as well as little philosophical notes about what she thinks you're like as a person.
What does she think of my friend, the elf? No, dwarf? Dwarf here.
Right.
She has a little note that says
Cute for a midget.
DUM.
It resembles that remark.
But you're the one that made us walk away with money. Put that feather in your cap,
Yeah.
sir.
It's there.
And RIX.
R-I-X, just R-I-X.
Yeah.
Okay, does she have any notes about any other
You
members
notice
that are
that she
interesting?
seems to be a terrible speller.
I think
Oh, she's 7.